All right, there's a need in the industry today for IT professionals covering a variety of applications from more than what I'm going to call the business-centric to the advanced technology support roles. We're going to talk to Brad Anderson, one of our faculty, and one of our graduates, Jamie. They're going to talk about their background, how they matriculated through our program, and some of the opportunities.
Hello?
Hey Brad, it's Scott. You got time today to grab some coffee and talk about the Information Telecommunication Technology program at Century College?
Sure. Why don't we meet at Dunn Brothers?
All right, I'll be there in about a half an hour. See you then.
You bet.
All right, thanks. Bye. I'm Scott Simonson, and this is IT Professionals in Cars Getting Java. So today I'm meeting with Brad Anderson, who is a part-time instructor at Century College and a full-time project and program manager for the Packet Tracer program at Cisco Systems. And Cisco Systems sponsors a lot of the curriculum that we use in the Information and Telecommunication Technology or ITT program at Century. So Brad, I thought we could talk a little bit about our program and some of the opportunities for students, all students, women, minorities as well. Can you tell me a little bit about the ITT program at Century College?
Sure. I've been there actually over 3 years doing part-time teaching, and it's really a good, high-quality program. One of the things I really like about what Century does with their program is they have the core courses, and then they have higher level courses. You have different tracks that you can go through, and I think it's really appropriate to provide a lot of diversity to the courses. But specifically, the core set of courses is about networking.
Great.
And networking is core for all really computer usage today, because you tie to the internet, you tie to your local storage, and with that, without the communications aspect, you really wouldn't have what people expect a computer to be today.
So Brad, there's a lot of discussion about the Internet of Things or the Internet of Everything. And I know Cisco has an emphasis in evolving into the what we like to call the IoT. Can you talk a little bit about where the Internet of Things is going and how that might impact our students and the graduates in our program?
Oh, absolutely. The Internet of Things, actually Cisco's take on the Internet of Things is what they have labeled the Internet of Everything, which is a layer that sits on top of the actual Internet of Things. But the Internet of Things is, if you look at it today, we have 5 billion devices connected to the Internet.
Wow, that's amazing.
And so, but a lot of the devices that we really talk about are smartphones, they're tablets, they're PCs, and servers. What you're looking at with the Internet of Things is literally taking and creating not only people-to-people communications, but things-to-things communication, people-to-things, and then things-to-people.
Okay.
So when you think about the smart home, and you talk about automatic locking that goes on in your door, you have a situation where you have a UPS man come up to your door with a package, and you're in Sarasota, Florida, and your house is here in Stillwater, Minnesota. You have a situation where there's a camera on the door, there's a motion sensor that looks at the person coming, it sends you a ping or it sends you a text message, you can see who's there, and you literally can unlock the door so they can put it inside your house.
Amazing. That's amazing.
So it won't get stolen.
Something I recently read talked about the growth of this area, and you mentioned 5 billion devices today, and I think they forecast 55 billion devices connected to the network or the internet by the year 2020, which seems like a staggering growth of this technology, which would kind of indicate that there's a real need for qualified and capable and trained employees or workers to go in the IT industry. Could you talk a little bit about the worker need in this area?
Oh, absolutely. There are constant shortages in this area, whether you talk about it being in the networking environment, the cybersecurity environment, storage area networking, all of these fields are seeing a drain of people. The other aspect is the fact that people who are in my age range are getting ready to retire.
Sure.
And so the baby boomer people in this area are starting to leave the job field, and it causes even more. But then when you talk about, as you had just mentioned, the 55 billion new devices that would be connected to the internet, there's a great amount of expansion that happens in the background network communications, data communications, and those positions all need to be filled by people.
Okay, currently there's about 11% of the IT workforce that's comprised of women in IT, and I would assume that with the growth and the need for workers that we're going to have to change that number to more than 50%. Can you talk a little bit about the opportunity for women in this field as well?
Sure. One of the things that really I think has prevented women from getting into this field is the aspects of math, science, and they tend to, it's a situation where the perception is they shy away from that.
Sure.
And these fields really, they do involve some math and science, but it's not as complex math and science as people might think. It's no more complex than doing accounting or general adding and subtracting in math fields.
Sure.
But the other opportunity here is, especially for women in these fields, is there are grants and there are opportunities for them to actually move forward in the position, because it is really seen as a shortage and an inequality for the data processing field to not have them.
Currently, I think most of the women who graduate from our program are all receiving multiple offers, but as are the males in the program, which kind of defines the need today, and I think that is going to become even more extreme. Could you talk a little bit about what some of the jobs are that you've seen our graduates land as they go through and matriculate through our program? Where are the graduates landing? What kind of jobs and what kind of companies?
Well, I think you have, a number of positions out there. You really talk about, and as I was mentioning before, when we talk about the actual network program itself being the fundamental, we have people going out and working in small business, medium business, enterprise level businesses in the network technology area. So they're network administrators, network technicians, network installers. So there's the core with the networking aspect. But again, as I had mentioned, with the advanced tracks that go into it, we also have placed people in cybersecurity. We placed them in general network security, storage area
Networking, I know, is a real growth area in our program.
Exactly. Along with things that don't get mentioned too much, we start talking about video communications, we start talking about IP telephony. All of these things run across a converged network, a network that supports all the traffic.
Sure.
And so these people become critical in all of those different areas.
So the ITT program really kind of focuses on the converged network aspect of IT, which is really a framework or foundation for everything. Another aspect I've seen are a lot of our students are getting into the program or IT project management role. As these organizations are evolving their technologies, there's a huge need for IT professionals not only to understand the core technologies or the technical aspects, but also to understand aspects of project implementation, project management, so a lot of opportunities. Could you give me kind of an indication of the skill sets that people need to have coming into the program, which would be helpful?
Obviously, what you talk about initially is they need to have networking skills. And when I talk about networking, I'm talking about data networking, but it also includes people networking.
Okay, social networking.
And a lot of these types of jobs these days work with basically with someone who actually works from home. So they're a telecommuter. As a matter of fact, my job itself, I've been a telecommuter for the last 11 years.
No kidding, wow.
And I work from home, and I work through, and as you were talking about project management before, that's actually my major position. I work with a team of 18 people, and we work through that. We basically work remotely. Most of them are in California, and here I am in Minnesota. So, and we work just like we're in cubes next to each other.
Sure.
But as far as the other aspects that are very, very important, when it comes to being a network technologist, what you're really looking at, same kind of skills that you talk about with programming and anything else. It takes dedication. You have to have a self-motivation, especially if you are a teleworker, because you're the person who has to force yourself to sit at the desk to do your work.
So looking for responsible employees, employees that have good communication skills, a good understanding of what I like to call the business dynamics or the culture of organization. So it's not just what we like to say is technical geeks. There's really opportunities for all aspects of people in the IT environment, which we're really hoping to capitalize on here at Century. Well, that's.
I'm going to add one other thing before we get it. One of the other things that is critically important today, especially in this business, is you have to be a continuous learner.
Yes, very important.
You have to be able to self-pace yourself, or you have to be able to be willing to go back and take more classes in order to be able to keep up with current technology and current methodologies that work through the business.
Okay, and I understand that IT jobs are among the highest paid in society today. So some things I read indicated that it's the third highest behind doctors and attorneys. A lot of opportunity, pay is pretty good. And in this particular market, the Twin Cities market, we get a great demand for our graduates.
You don't have to pay malpractice insurance.
Yeah. Well, great, Brad. It's been very helpful. I was talking with Jamie, one of our recent graduates who currently is working for Dell, and she's agreed to meet with us and kind of show us around her organization and talk about some of the strengths. So why don't we run up to the college and we'll set up a meeting with Jamie.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Great. Thanks, Brad. Let's
Thank
go.
you.
Jamie, thanks for meeting us back at the Century College ITT laboratory. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about your journey in the ITT program with Century College. You graduated about 3.5 years ago, is that correct?
That's correct.
And so how did you come to us? What was your background? Were you a computer geek, or how did this begin?
Absolutely. I didn't actually know very much about computers at all. When I came back, it was about 1.5 years after high school.
Okay.
So I just knew I liked computers, I just didn't know much about them.
Sure.
So once I jumped in, I know we had the intro to ITT class.
And that was the first class that you took?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, and what did that class do for you?
It helped me visualize the future for the next 5 years and just kind of see where I wanted to go.
All right.
And I actually am where I want to be now.
And part of that class, the students build a 5-year career plan. And before we sat down, you were talking, you just came across your 5-year career plan and you're actually ahead of where you thought you were going to be, is that correct?
Yes, I didn't think I'd get this far, but I'm...
All right. And so you graduated from Century College with a degree in ITT. And so what was your career track?
I started off basically L1, so phone support.
Okay.
About 1.5 years after that, I was able to move up to a senior co-pilot. That's what they call it. So we helped anybody that's on the phones if they had any questions.
And your business is primarily supporting a lot of the technical infrastructure, the technical enterprise infrastructure in what I'm going to call the cloud space. Is that correct?
We get so many different calls. Sometimes it's networking based. We kind of try to help any of our customers any way we can.
And I'm assuming your networks, your customers are all around the world. You're a global support organization. Is that correct? And what's your current job title?
It is Enterprise Technical Support Advisor.
Okay, and you took a lot of networking courses here, is that correct? Your actual concentration, if you look at the ITT program, we have about 5 different advanced concentration: advanced networking, information security and assurance, really the cybersecurity component, the storage area networking, there's a voice track, and there's also a MCSA track. And which one of those did you specialize in when you were here?
It was the information security.
Okay, but now you find yourself in the storage area networking space. Could you talk about how that happened a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I graduated in 2011 here, and I actually knew one of the students, Corey, and he recently got a job there. So I reached out to him and got an interview set up, and when I was speaking with him, since I took a lot of networking classes, I kind of pitched that as my background, and they were very pleased with that.
Great.
So definitely was helpful in me getting the job.
So you were able to walk in here not knowing hardly anything about computers and computing technology, and you were able to learn and evolve pretty much using our laboratory. And this is the only college, or one of the few colleges in the country that actually has a physical storage area network laboratory, which is primarily supported by business and industry. And so you were able to go through this program and then jump in the industry with your business skills, your social skills, as well as your technical skills, and really evolve that into a pretty successful career. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say so.
And talk a little bit about the opportunity in the IT field. Could you, for a minute, and even talk about the opportunity for women in IT?
Absolutely. I mean, we don't have very many women, but the women that you do see in the field, they do great. I mean, they excel. Okay. All the women there's probably just a handful, about 5 women at my company that in just the technical aspect. Yep. But every single one of them, including myself, I feel like we've been able to excel.
And they all pretty much started with the same background, I would assume?
Yeah.
Knowing, relatively little about computing technology, but got into a college program and built their strengths and their characteristics?
Yep, and was able to build from there.
So what about the need for graduates today? How is the need strong still?
In the technical background, definitely. I mean, I could go anywhere in the country and find a job. I mean, not necessarily with a SAN background, but just with the virtualization that I've learned on the way and with the networking, I could find some type of job that would be in my career.
And even in the security arena, you still could, if you wanted to, evolve into that particular market, especially with your technical background, I'm assuming?
Yes, absolutely. I'd have to work and do a little bit of more training on my aspect to kind of get me up to speed. Sure. But
so what are some of the technical characteristics or the characteristics of students, do you think, coming into a program like this?
I mean, I think some people come with a little bit more self-learned background, but you get people like me that was completely new, didn't know very much at all, so I think there's a wide variety of background.
Okay, and when you graduated from here, you continued your education and went to St. Mary's, right? And finished your 4-year degree? And how long did that take you?
With the fast track that they have for adults, it was about a year and a half.
All right, so we actually have articulation agreements with several colleges within the region. I would say a vast majority of our students do go to St. Mary's, and we have a great relationship with them. So do you think that has helped your career, finishing or connecting a BS degree on top of this AA degree?
It definitely helps. I mean, a lot of employers that I've seen, they do want that bachelor's degree. Yep. I mean, at least associate, but the bachelor degree is definitely going to help.
And I'm assuming you always went to class?
Yes, yes.
Well, great. Any other advice that you have for new students coming into the program?
I would say, yeah, come in and take your intro class, kind of see, and then kind of look into different aspects, networking or security, and kind of just see what you like. And
or storage area networking.
Yeah, storage. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, Jamie, it's been a pleasure seeing you again, and thanks for your help. And let's go on a tour of the rest of the college.
I was going to say, you jumped my line, sir. Hello?
We'll do it again. I was waiting for you to clap.
Very natural.
For this?
Yeah, she's already got
the coffee.
You already handed it to her. She's already sat down.
Okay. So I'm not the introducer. We're just